How's it going, everybody? We're really excited to be here. We're going to present something called the Masterful Minds of Music to you all. And we're going to take some of our favorite geniuses in the jazz idiom and present a song from each of them, talk about some of their history. We're going to get to talk to you all about your experience and hopefully enjoyment of jazz throughout your lives. But first, we want to introduce each member of the band. So we have Willie Morris on tenor saxophone from Belleville, Illinois. We have Cole Davis on bass from New York City, New York. We have Tyler Henderson on piano from Houston, Texas. My name is Adleman. I'm from Montclair, New Jersey, not too far away. And first, I'm going to present to you all one of my favorite drummers of all time named Roy Haynes. So we'll have Willie pass it out so you can each see a picture of him. And the picture you're actually looking at is a photo shoot he did with GQ. He was probably 92 years old. He's 94 now and still playing. He still tap dances at shows. He sings. He has so much soul and so much exuberance and vibe and emotion when he plays, which is really why I love him. But before I play a song by him, I want to read you one quote to sort of give you an idea of his passion that he still has. Doesn't matter how old he is. Percussive Arts Society asks him, "What keeps you so young?" He says, "If I knew that, I would sell it." He goes on to say, "Maybe the secret of staying youthful is playing the drums." I hope so. "I know that performing makes me feel good, and it also makes me sleep well." Amen to that. Now we're going to perform the song Segment by Charlie Parker, something that Roy Haynes would have played with Charlie Parker himself. Willie Morris, and he's going to talk about one of his inspirations.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about a great tenor saxophonist named Sonny Rollins. I have a picture of him here. Tyler, would you want to pass this up? Thank you, sir. So Sonny Rollins is known to be, or it has been known as one of the greatest improvisers of all time. He has a certain bounciness and happiness to his playing, but at the same time is very serious about the music, as I think we all are. But you got to have that fun side to you. And so the fun aside, his seriousness was so high that he took a 3-year sabbatical in the late 50s to really work on his playing, where he did no recording, no touring, no gigging, any of that. And he just practiced underneath the Williamsburg Bridge. And upon coming back from his sabbatical, he released an album entitled The Bridge, which received critical acclaim. So we're going to go ahead and play a tune from that album entitled Without a Song. We hope you enjoy.
Thank you. So next, we wanted to open up somewhat of a dialogue because you've been listening to us talk for a while. So we wanted to hear what jazz means to you all. Now that we've heard what it means to you all, we also wanted to sort of jump in and talk about what it means to us. So one of my favorite things about jazz is the idea that it asks us to respect and learn from our masters as much as possible, our elders specifically. People that are older than us have a lot more experience playing and with life and all sorts of things. So we want to honor them, and I really love that about jazz. Willie, do you have something to add?
Yeah, actually, to piggyback on what Zach just said, there's one thing that I've been told most of my life, if not all of my life, and that is to never forget where you come from. So as he was saying, we learn from our elders who played this music, and this music is very much a lineage. And so when we play this music, it's impossible for us to not know the history that comes along with it because the music is so reflective of the time that it was created in. So that's what's important to me.
I think Duke Ellington said it best when he said, if jazz is anything, it's freedom of expression.
And to me, jazz is a perfect example of democracy. Jazz is what democracy is in its most ideal form because in a great jazz performance, everyone has to check their personal interests and egos at the door and really listen to one another to, come to something of value. And I feel like in a democracy, it only doesn't function when people bring their own personal interests and egos into it. You don't look at it for the good of the whole. I feel like a great jazz performance is a perfect example.
So the beauty of jazz lies not only in its freedom of expression, but also in its timelessness. Another way of saying this would be that jazz is always modern. As we know, jazz was once popular music, and people danced to it. When bebop came along, people forgot the dance element of it because the music got so complicated. But Ahmad Jamal propelled this music into the future by bringing back the dance element. And I'm going to present a piece of his called Poinciana. Willie, if you could pass a picture of Ahmad Jamal in his current form. This composition, Poinciana, is interesting to me because it swings and it's danceable, but it does not necessarily use the swing rhythm. So when I play this song today, even middle school kids who have never heard jazz before can recognize this as modern music that they can also dance to. 1, 2, 3, and. Ahmad Jamal's music also has a personal interest to me because his bass player, Israel Crosby, invented the bass solo in 1936. He was the first to ever take a solo on this instrument. So that's the great Ahmad Jamal.
All right. Thank you, Cole. Now, I'd like to talk about my hero, Cedar Walton, and we're gonna have Willie pass this out. He passed a few years ago, but his music still lives on as one of the most sophisticated, melodic, yet accessible piano players of all time. I think the magic of his music is that he includes these complex harmonic vamps that sound so beautiful, but he has this element of the blues and something so personal, and I feel like you can really hear his humanity when he plays and through his tunes. So we just like to close by saying thank you guys very much for coming, and that we believe that jazz is just like Cedar Walton. It's something that might seem complex at first, but when you really listen to it and get into it, you realize that it's for everyone, and it's something that everyone can enjoy because it shows our humanity. So this is Cedar Walton's Firm Roots. Thank you very much. 1, 2, 1, 2,